Hello and welcome back to Bells and Bloodshed, the one and only podcast about true crime, paranormal, etc. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Bailey. Welcome back, guys. It's been a little bit
We took a week off. I'm
crazy
sorry.
these past few weeks. I get married in 30 days, and I'm getting anxious, of course, as every bride would be. Very excited
About the wedding.
About the wedding.
Not the husband. The
No.
husband is great.
Husband's great. We love Nick. I love Nick. Everyone loves Nick. So I'm surviving each day, and it's the end of the school year. And if you know how the kids are right now. I want to go home. Same, buddy. I want to go home too. Like, it's not fun dealing with your attitudes every day, but we're here and we're making it. So,
As you should.
Lindsay is the one doing the episode for this week, and I'm excited to see what she's got going. I don't know what it is. I think it's something dealing with the murder, of course. Surprise. Are we shocked? No. But, yeah. You want to go ahead and get into it?
Yes, I will. So, first of all, I'll tell you this week's case is of Ally Kostial. I think it's how you say it. But Ally was an incoming senior at the University of Mississippi, also known as Ole Miss, and she was murdered. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in depth after sweet tea time. But you basically already did sweet tea time, didn't you?
Just wedding stuff and end of the school year and house stuff. We just got a new couch for it. It is so cute. It's like like ocean green, you would think?
I mean, I would have said light blue, but if we're bringing nature into it.
It's just really cute, and we just got a lot going on, and I'm ready for the school year to be done so I can kind of breathe for like a couple 2 seconds and then get married.
Yeah. We have a good honeymoon plan.
We have a good honeymoon. We're going to Jamaica. Whoop, whoop. The kids are wanting to come with me, and I said that is not a place you're gonna go, and they're already like wanting to crash the wedding. And I'm like, it's June 8th at 8 a.m. If you would like to come. It's not June 8th. Sorry, guys.
Uh-oh.
Oopsie. They won't be up at 8 a.m. June.
Me and Kaden got our house appraised. Well, it's not our house yet. We haven't closed on it. But we
basically their house.
Well, the appraiser came. We haven't gotten the appraisal back. But once we get that back, I mean, it's pretty much, free willy there, and we'll be getting ready to close.
2 minutes away from me.
And anyways, I'll just start. My sweet tea time. We had Bailey's wedding shower. I think it looked great. I put a lot of work into it.
She sure did, and it looked beautiful.
Even though it was amazing, I'm glad it's over. That was pretty stressful.
I had a feeling it was pretty stressful. It looked great, I was amazing, honored. As you should be. And today, forgot, we were putting the list. No one knows this yet, so we're doing the list of people, like bridesmaids and groomsmen, doing it by height. So you're gonna be with Nick's best man, Will, who's like his bestie.
Oh yeah, I think you already told me I was gonna probably end up being with him.
Yeah, you're like the first ones down.
Yeah, don't we have to be don't the matrons and the maid of honor and the matron of honor have to be kind of closer to the front anyways?
Yeah, you're gonna be like right by me.
Am I gonna hold your flowers?
Yeah, most definitely. She'll hold the flowers. You gotta fix my veil, so you gotta get good with the veil fixing too.
This means that you can't ever not be my friend because I'm gonna be probably in all your wedding pictures of when you're actually getting married.
Well, I wasn't in any of yours, so.
Okay, well, you should have started talking to me before.
You should have reached out to me before.
Okay, if there's a backstory between us, and if you know anything about it, you know that it would not have made sense for me to be the one to reach out first. Because Bailey had judgments about me based off of something someone said that was based off of someone that did not like me.
Was it an ex?
Yes. Someone that did not like me said bad things about me, who happened to be Bailey's ex as well after me.
We share an ex, guys.
Yeah, we do.
He is here.
And first of all, I was not ever really mean or anything. But he thought I was mean apparently. And Bailey, of course, was at the time, who could be mean?
I did have preconceived notions about Lindsay, guys.
And I assumed she did. I figured she did. And she's like, why didn't you reach out? Because I'm not stupid, that's why. But guess what? She changed her mind.
Well, and I reached out the week before her wedding because I did not even know.
That's what I'm saying. That's weird to invite somebody to the wedding like a week.
You were going to, and then Kaden. Sorry.
Yeah,
Kaden.
I did think about it. I was like really close to, but I was like, I didn't know how to do it. Like, I thought about texting you and being like, hey, like, I just want you to know, like, please feel free to come to the wedding. I'd love to have you there. But, like, I didn't want to do it like that because I didn't want you to think it was like a pity invite.
Totally understandable.
See, that's what I'm saying. And, like, that's what Kaden was saying was, like, that would be weird. Because, like, he was saying the same thing.
You just got to do a vow renewal in 10 years and I'll be there for that. Okay, Kaden?
That's fair. But, anyways.
We got off the topic. Sorry,
we got on our soapbox, but I'll probably delete some of it anyway, so it don't matter. Oh. But not all of that, but like some of like the before stuff when I was just like running my mouth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you were ranting. Yeah, it's okay to rant, I was ranting,
guys. But I don't need to rant on the internet. Okay, this is not Facebook.
Do it in
with
private,
middle-aged women. So, anyways,
we do it in private.
Yeah, do it in private. So, we're gonna talk about Ally Kostial, and I think that's how you say her name. And if it's not, I'm really sorry. But basically, Ally was a 21-year-old girl who was an entering senior at Ole Miss, my alma mater. Ugh. And she was majoring in marketing. She grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, and was a cheerleader, track runner, and member of the Honor Society. So, like, definitely girl next door vibes. Like, seems like a really nice girl. Like, had her crowd together. And then she also, for her senior year, had plans to run the student golf and running clubs that she had founded. And she was also going to teach yoga and Pilates during her senior year. So, like, she was a hustler. Like, she had plans. She was involved. She was active. Like, a perfect student. Like, I mean, exactly what colleges would want. I mean, I don't know how her grades were, but I'm saying her involvedness. So, during her time at Ole Miss, because keep in mind she was an entering senior at this time, she met this guy named Brandon Thiesfeld. And he was from Fort Worth, Texas.
Ooh, Texas boy.
Yeah. So basically, Ally's friends claimed that she met this man and just felt so hard for him. I mean, she would take him to all her sorority day parties, like.
And if you do that, it's serious.
She wanted him bad. And they were just really confused about the whole situation because they basically said, like, he didn't treat her well. He would say hurtful and degrading things to her.
Boy, bye.
And basically, like, it was one of those situations where she wanted him more than he wanted her. Like, he was basically just kind of a douchebag. Like, definitely the douchebag frat vibes where he's, like, just doesn't want anything serious, wants to mess around, and she likes him, and he'll only entertain her when he wants to. So, like, that's what I got from that, like, situation. And let me just say, this girl was gorgeous. Like, she had a bod, she had, like, pretty blonde hair. She was so pretty, and she had really good fashion sense. Like, just gorgeous. And then this guy, he literally looked like every other frat, like, mid-frat bro out there. Nothing special about him at all. Like, if y'all have ever seen, like, the potato from VeggieTales, that's what he looked like.
Nice.
So, but we see it all the time. However, Ally's roommate basically described this guy as misogynistic and a daddy's boy type. And the roommate basically said that he would constantly reference his father's money and that his dad would get him out of any trouble anytime that he made, like, vulgar comments about women or to a woman. So, definitely one of those guys. And basically, if you didn't guess, this situation was definitely like an on and off dating situation. Mm-hmm. But they dated more consistently. Like, it was on and off still, but it was more consistently for probably like a year before Ally's death. So, this guy, like I said, definitely not giving her the time of day and just being a prick. And so, in mid-April of 2019, Ally texted Brandon a picture of an inconclusive pregnancy test. Ooh. From that event on, Brandon basically ignored her for 3 months. And keep in mind, like, at Ole Miss, in basically the first week of May, sometimes, like, literally the first couple days of May, you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
So if this was mid-April, all he had to do was not see her on campus for a couple weeks, and then he wouldn't see her all summer.
Mm-hmm.
But he ignored Ally for 3 months, like rejected invitations, canceled plans last minute. And Ally was pleading, like, come on, please meet me. We need to discuss this, like, etc., etc., like, as any normal person would. During this time, even though that he ignored her, he did tell her that he was not ready to become a father. And he also was researching abortion services and pills. Which, here's the thing. Ally did not show any interest in that. So that's not for him to do. Then, in early July of 2019, Brandon went home to speak with his dad. Or I guess to see his dad or whatever. And Brandon's from Fort Knox, Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
And he went home, and while he was home, he posted a picture of a handgun that he had on social media. And the comment was, finally taking my baby back to Oxford.
My baby.
Like, exactly. What the crap? He also had, like, they looked at his internet searches, and he had searched the internet for silencers. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, where he's
Yes.
for the guy.
Good job. And he also looked up how Ted Bundy lured his victims.
Oh.
First of all, you ain't even got to lure this girl. So I'm like, is there more to this? But on Wednesday, July 17th, 2019, Ally basically like saw her parents off because they had just moved her into her new off-campus apartment. And it was quite a familiar apartment complex because it was actually the one that I lived in when I was in Oxford. Mm-hmm. But like when I lived in it, it was rebranded and like a whole different thing. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it was the same building, just a different, like, they painted everything and added, like, the new clubhouse and the pool and all that. But anyways, they moved Ally in on July 17th, 2019, and then they went home. And on this day, it was a Wednesday, Brandon finally sends her a message asking to meet in person. He also asked her about the privacy of her home, like whether or not it was a safe place for them to, I guess, talk privately. Which, if someone's asking me about the privacy of my home and they haven't spoken to me in 3 months and I told them I was pregnant, I would probably be thinking,
not safe.
This is not a safe situation. So, he basically asked about her house, and then he asked her to meet, and this was going to be their very first time meeting since their last sexual encounter in April. So they hadn't seen each other in 3 months, but the last time they saw each other, they possibly made a child. So, on Friday, July 19th, 2 days later, he messaged her asking her to let him know when she left the bar. Because she basically told her, like, she went out to the bar with her friends, which is a very popular activity in Oxford. I never did it because I'm not paying $80 to get into a bar.
Yeah, for cover fee.
What the crap? Like, no thank you. Because I don't even want to get drunk. So, like, that would not be my scene. But she had called her mom around 7 p.m. and was like, I'm going out to have fun with my friends. And to me, it seemed like she had been ignoring him for these past 2 days because she was pissed off that this man did not say anything to her for 3 months. And honestly, I do not blame her one bit. Mm-hmm. So she goes to the bar with her friends, and he messages her saying, let me know when you leave the bar. And surveillance showed Ally leaving the bar at 11:52 p.m. that night. And I watched the surveillance. And I will say, when you're in that kind of relationship situation where the man's just like being a douchebag, it can definitely make women crazy. But I will say, from, what I would base off of statistical analysis and just what I saw, she was not walking in a straight line at all. And she did not look any different than she did in April. But that's neither here nor there, because I think, I definitely don't think that she really had an issue in this situation. I am going to say that. But she left the bar at 11:52 p.m. that night by herself because I saw it on the surveillance. She was walking through the alleyway in the square, if you know anything about that. And surveillance also showed Brandon heading towards Ally's apartment to pick her up after he had been drinking and using cocaine. Listen, college kids, they drink and stuff, I get that, but cocaine is so bad for you. Do not do cocaine. And let me just say, I went to one frat party and one frat party only in my entire life. And guess what I saw there? Cocaine. I did not realize how many people use cocaine on a normal basis until I went to college. And you just, like, if you just sit in the cafeteria and just eavesdrop on some frat guys' conversations, those boys love cocaine.
That's insane.
It is actually insane. Like, I never knew.
It's like an Ole Miss thing, or is it everywhere?
I think it's an everywhere thing because I've had friends from state kind of say the same thing.
That's insane.
Now, of course, it's not everybody. Like, this is your poster boy, daddy's money type kid. But it is, of course, it is not every person that's in a sorority or fraternity. This is just a few, out of the majority that are just there trying to get a decent education. But I will say I had never seen cocaine in real life, except for like when I went on police ride-alongs. But I'd never seen cocaine in real life in an illegal situation that was not with police until I went to a frat party. So, anyways, he had been drinking and using cocaine. Definitely not in the state to drive. However, he does drive to her house and he picks her up. And he drives her out to Sardis Lake. Sorry. What was that? Oh, that was my phone. That was my keyboard. We're fine. He drives her out to Sardis Lake. Now, Sardis Lake is about 40-ish minutes away from Oxford.
40?
Yeah, it's, well, online it says 40, but like to me it's really more like 30.
Okay.
But it depends like how you get there. Because it's kind of like it's a big lake, so it's like if you go like over or like around it in a weird way. So like it depends on the entrance you go to. But it's just a big lake, and like a lot of clubs and stuff at Ole Miss, like they'll go up there and have like kayaking and stuff like that. But he drives her out to Sardis Lake, and I'm sure he's like, oh, like, let's go for a drive, and I'll take you out to the lake or whatever. But he never really gave clarity on what was going on during this time. So they drive to Sardis Lake, and by the time they get there, it's technically Saturday, July 20th. So guess what? Ally don't come back. Her friends are worried. Her mom's worried. Police start searching for her. She was a missing person, so that means there's definitely a time crunch. Because, at this point, there was no indication that she was not alive. So, police are looking for her. They can't find her phone, but they did find her Apple Watch, and they were able to, get some information and ping from that. And they found her body on July 21st, 2019.
Pretty good turnaround, though.
Yeah, that was a good turnaround. Oxford Police Department is really good. They've got the crowd really together there. Right. But she had been shot 8 times in the stomach, and then he just left her there. Like he shot her in the stomach and just left her. So it wasn't like an instant thing. And it's very symbolic considering the location.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking that.
But that's just evil. It's honestly evil. It is insane because this is not a good thing, but a lot of men will just say, you know what, I don't want any part in that. Deal with it on your own, and that's terrible. But actually, murdering someone,
just because you don't want to be a part of it.
Well, he probably is one of those didn't want it to affect his reputation, but I don't know why he thought he wouldn't get caught. But they did do an autopsy, and they found out that she was not pregnant, and she had never been pregnant. So there was no evidence of a prior pregnancy.
Well, they just communicated. This whole thing would have been avoided, you think?
I think that she said she was pregnant to get his attention. However, I also, I've done a lot of research and I've heard a lot of things, and I know people that have, dealt with stuff like that, And I think that when you're in a relationship or in a situation like that, it makes you crazy, or it makes you do crazy things you wouldn't normally do. I'm not saying that she shouldn't have, I'm not saying she shouldn't have said that, because she shouldn't have. But, I mean, as a young girl, I think about her perspective of, she likes this guy so much and he leaves her on when it's useful for him. And then, after that, he won't give her the time of day. And I mean, I can almost see where she's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that, a nice girl who probably would have been so much different and so much happier with a nice guy had to experience something like that. But on Monday, July 22nd, Brandon was arrested at a gas station in Memphis, Tennessee. And he had the murder weapon in his truck.
Mm-hmm.
And they, of course, arrested him because they put a bolo out. Be on the lookout. Put a bolo out for him. And because, I mean, they saw the messages and everything. So they knew he was definitely a suspect. They arrested him. And they actually found a 2-page handwritten note in his Oxford apartment. And, some of it said, "Dear Mom and Dad, I am not a good person. It is not your fault. Something in me just doesn't work. I've always had terrible thoughts. I have always had these demons. I know I'm going to get caught." I don't know if that's the whole thing, but that's just an excerpt of it. But, I mean, definitely got something wrong with him. But he ended up taking a plea deal. So that plea deal moved him down from capital murder to a guilty plea of first-degree murder, which basically what that means is he's going to get the life sentence, but he's not going to be given the death sentence. So he was 24 when he was convicted on August 27th, 2021, because his family obviously had money. They had enough to fight that for a long time, which is why it wasn't until 2 years later when he officially got convicted. Just because, I mean, when you have money, you can afford good lawyers, but even good lawyers can't get you out of doing that. So he was 24 when he was convicted on August 27th, 2021. He was sentenced to life in prison, but is eligible for conditional release when he turns 65 in 2062.
Oh my God.
Now, just because you're eligible doesn't mean that you'll get it. It just means that, contingent on your behavior and things like that, they might review it. So if he does a bunch of crazy stuff in prison and gets himself in trouble, he won't be eligible. And, I mean, he might not even be alive by the time he gets there, because prison's pretty crazy. But that is all for this week. I remember hearing about that, and I was like, that's evil. Even if the girl wasn't pregnant, it's still evil. Because if you killed her with, the thought that she was pregnant, and that's not good.
No, especially it would have been 2 lives.
And I mean, it's just, I think it's an important reminder of how people's treatment around you can make you act and how it can affect you. Because, Ally's friends and everything, they all just said she was just the sweetest person, the best friend ever. And I mean, I know everybody would probably say that, but from what I could tell, it really did seem as though she was such a good friend and things like that. So it's I just can't help but wonder, would she have been like that if she was in a healthy relationship? And it's sad. It's a really sad situation. And I just hate that, Ally had her life cut short by some douchebag frat brother who just, I mean, I guess was never made to learn any kind of important lesson in life.
Well, he's serving that time now.
He is, and I hope he serves it until he rots. I hope he don't never get out, but if he does, I'm sure somebody will make sure he don't stay on this earth much longer. Just because people like that, they don't want him running around.
No. Well, that one was a sad story. Everything I feel like
I
is
know,
sad.
it is sad.
The ones that were interesting were the Wendigos.
Yeah.
The Wendigos are fun.
Somebody told me they couldn't watch the paranormal ones because they're scary.
No.
I'm going to do another one though. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Let's do one about the Wendigos. We do need to...
We need to go on a ghost tour. I
was just thinking that. Okay. You secretly, for the bridesmaids luncheon. God. secretly go in the crying. Nope, Mary Hope's haunted.
Me and my coworker went in there one time during Christmas break because it's like right by where we work, and there was nobody on campus. So for like our lunch break, we were like, we'll go by there, and there was nobody there. And he has like little ghost hunting apps on his phone, and there was a doll, and it made that little radar thing go up.
I mean, I bet it would. Yeah, just during the bridesmaids lunch, and I just go off like, "Hey guys, welcome to the channel. We're about to go look at this doll."
It'd be like one of those Hannah Montana things, like one of the episodes where like she's supposed to be like at the same place as Hannah and Molly or something. And she'll have to like go and be like, I gotta go to the bathroom and take off her wig, and then I gotta go to the bathroom.
I'm the bride, but secretly I'm a paranormal investigator.
Yep.
Secretly then.
We need to plan that for a weekend.
Maybe when summer's off.
I don't think I do not get summers off right now.
Who knows? All right, guys. Thank y'all for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.